Okay, well, in this video, what I want to show is working with these 1/64 scale diecasts. I want to show how I move a decal that's dried and in place, and I just want to move it. So, working this 2012 pink Ecoboost, and the decals have dried. I haven't sealed anything yet. But as you can see those roof lines, the black and white lines coming from the hood to the roof to the trunk. They end there at the trunk. And then we've got this logo on the back, this National Breast Cancer Foundation logo. And if you kind of look at these lines, it's not centered, okay? So look at this line, see it's too far to the right, okay, ever so slightly. Coming down this way, you can see it doesn't line up. So what I'm going to need to do is just move it over to the left a little bit. A great product for this is the Microscale Microscale Industries Incorporated micro set. That's this bottle here. What it does is it just, like it says, it softens the decals and improves adhesion, and it's a decal remover. Well, my problem is I used up the whole bottle, and I emptied it out, I cleaned it out, and I put my sealer in it, and I don't have any more. I haven't bought another bottle yet. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. Obviously, you can get them off of eBay and probably Amazon as well, if you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you. But I'm just going to use water. I'm just going to use some water, and let me set up the camera, and we'll get after this. Alright, so I'm going to use my brush, and again, wash my hands before I do any touching of the car, any work with these cars. Always wash my hands with soap and water really good. This coronavirus, it's funny, they're saying, hey, wash your hands for 20-30 seconds. Yeah, that's basically what I do every day when I'm getting ready to work on these cars. Usually just use like a Dawn soap, or any type of soap, but again, I've said this before, no lotion in that soap. You don't want any lotion on your hands. So I'm just applying a little bit of water. I'm not a lot, right? Because I don't want it to go down to these other decals. And just kind of pushing it around, especially on these edges and the top, so that it'll soak in. I really like to use this brush. It's very helpful, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brush to get underneath. You can see that as the decal absorbs the water, my brush just kind of, ever so carefully. I don't want to crease any of these corners. I just kind of start working my way into the decal. And I say this a lot, but you just don't rush yourself. Just kind of work your way in. And you want to gently get that decal lifted up. You're kind of tempted to get your tweezers out and just kind of grab it and pull it, but just continue working it. It'll come. Alright, there we go. That's that. Okay. So now we can line it up straight. I don't think it's going to be perfectly straight, but it's going to be straighter than it was. And I have, it looks like I have a little bit of a choice to make here. I can align it with this here, or I can line it up between these two tail lights. And I think I'm going to try to split the difference here, because I don't think that they're the same. Again, all these bodies and everything, they're not always this, perfectly symmetrical. So I'm going to try to get it close on the back and close on the top, ever so slightly. Definitely improving its position from where it was, basically. That's what I'm trying to do. And you've got to do all of this stuff. You got to make sure all the decals are where you want them to be before you start putting a sealer on. I mean, it's kind of common sense, but you certainly are going to have major problems if you put some coats of sealer on it and then you find out, oh, I want to move this decal, or oh, I need to do this. Painting's not too much of a big deal, but the decals, it's the whole purpose of the sealer is to kind of lock it into place. I mean, I've done it. A couple coats of sealer is about as far as I've been. You start putting 3, 4, 5 coats of sealer on it, and you're not going to be able to move that decal without major damage. Okay. So I've chosen, you can see, it's more centered between these tail lights. It's not far off from this. And just as somebody who buys I've got a pretty extensive collection of these cars. Typically, when you look at the car, you're looking at this. You're not necessarily looking at it from this angle to compare all of these things. So, but again, I still would like to have this line up. I mean, you're normally looking at it like this. You don't see the back so much. Here, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. This down here, it looks more centered over the Ford logo. Yeah. So I'll let that dry. This is turning out nice. Everything's lining up. This tucked in here, pretty good. The front's a little complicated on this car. Got the Fusion logo. Behind these, there's this black and white stripe that I guess kind of extends from here to this front, although it's very skinny. That goes down first, and then you put the Sunoco and the K&N logo over top of it. You can see how the nose turned out. Same thing on this side. Over here, I had to tuck on the back on this side decal. Sometimes these, this is a pretty wide decal. Trying to get that whole thing to tuck is a pain in the butt. Definitely needed that Microscale decal softener. I've showed this before, but with this product here, this really softens it, as it says, to conform to irregular surfaces for a painted on look. This is a good product. It takes a little bit of time getting used to it, how it works, because it really softens the decal. I think the first couple times I used it, it ripped the decal. I mean, I shouldn't say it did. I mean, it got it so soft when I went to slide it or move it, it ripped it. So you have to be really careful. You might even want to just play around with some decals you don't really care about in using that to get a little bit of expertise with it. But yeah, this is turning out really nice. I'm pretty happy with this car. Looking at the pictures, this lower front here of the valence splitter, whatever you call it, at the bottom is black. So once this dries, and it's pretty dry, I'll put a couple coats of sealer on it, and then the last touches I'll do is I'll put black around here, and then there's no hood pins here on this body. There's no like little raised dot of where the hood pins go, but you know, I usually on these 11 and 12 bodies I'll put like one here and one here and one here and one here, just a little, you know, just a little dot of aluminum. And might go over the roof lines again with the Sharpie to make it a little bit more thicker there, but that looks pretty good already. I think I got 2 coats of the Sharpie pen across the top, and no, that's looking good. It's going to be a nice addition to this custom request I got. So that's that. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos as much as I enjoy making them. And that you guys have a great day. And if you're embarking on making these customs yourself, I mean, I highly encourage you, if you've got the time and the patience, if that's your, you know, kind of you know, personality. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit of challenge, but it's fun and it's rewarding when you make a nice custom, you know, like this one here. So, God bless you.